Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Elevation, episode number 22. Got a great show lined up for you tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, I am so excited for this show. You know, we have all the WDWA official referees going to be joining us tonight. We got Billy and Danica and Joe, all three supposed to be here. So just looking forward to talking to each and every one of them. My co host is running just a little behind, but that's all right. Not a problem because we are still going to continue on here while I wait on him to pop in. But, you know, if you missed it, we had an absolute great show last time. And, we had Rockstar Kelly on here. He was an absolute great guest and just really had a lot of fun with Rockstar. And, he came up a little short this past show, but we'll get into that here in a little bit because we had a great show with Head Games and it was just absolutely phenomenal. So still waiting on Donnie to get in here. But while we're waiting on him to get in, as I was saying, we just came off of Head Games, you know, absolute great show. And, we had, there's our results from Head Games. Match one was a great match. We had This Is War facing Double Tap. Double Tap making their debut here in WDWA versus This Is War. The trainers of the WDWA school. And it was absolutely phenomenal because there was a lot of action that happened here in this match. Double Tap really showed that they have learned a lot and that they deserved to be on this main roster spot. And, but they came up just a little bit short against This Is War. So I guess This Is War taught them everything that Double Tap knows, but not everything This Is War knows. So, but as I say, it was an absolute great match. A lot of action back and forth. And we got to see Eisen fly from the top rope to the outside, taking everybody out. And so it was just phenomenal. But, you know, then we went into a Holy Grail qualification match with Zakar Shaw versus Jamie Hall. This was another great match. Jamie Hall, a man who has not had his shoulders pinned to that mat for a 1, 2, 3 count since he's been here. And, that still continues, that Jamie still has not been pinned for a 1, 2, 3 as of yet. But, it was a great match overall. And I believe my partner is here now. So let's welcome in the one and only dashing Donnie Diablo. I'm not seeing you, Donnie. Donnie, can you hear us? Okay. Live TV, folks, or live entertainment, always going to be a hiccup here or there. So looks like Donnie's still getting ready here. But yeah, as we say, Jamie Hall came out with the victory in this one, but it wasn't without some shenanigans, because all at once the TVs popped up with none other than uncrowned kings. UCK pops up on the screen. Lady Glory does some talking. It was very quick, but it was just enough that it distracted Zakar Shaw and gives the victory to Jamie Hall so that he does move on to the Holy Grail match this coming Saturday, the 11th. But then we went from that to the Goons, which, this is the second time we've got to see the Goons in WDWA, and they were facing the Brothers Gray. Another great match, a lot of people may call it an intergender match, but it really wasn't, because the Goons really held their own in this, and it really had no bearing that it was one gender versus the other, because the Goons really took it to the Brothers Gray, but in the end, the Brothers Gray did come out victorious in this. But it was great to see the Goons back in WDWA, and I definitely look forward to seeing them again down the road, because I'm sure we have not seen the last of the Goons or the Brothers Gray, either one for that matter. I see Donnie still working on things in the back. Let's see if he's got it straightened out here. Can you hear me, Donnie? Can you hear me, Donnie? Okay. So I see him and I hear him. We're getting closer. But and while he's still getting that figured out here, we'll try again here in a few minutes. But we'll just keep on moving on here. We saw a heavyweight championship match that saw Mr. Grimm versus Austin Kingsley. This was a rematch from where Austin Kingsley had cashed in that Holy Grail and took the title from Mr. Grimm. And, through this match, we did see, we saw a lot of offense out of Mr. Grimm, but we did see some fight out of Austin Kingsley as well. But no matter what, in the end, Austin Kingsley did come out with the victory. But there was the masked man showed up again. So once again, there was shenanigans. But with that masked man, Grimm actually was able to unmask the masked man, and it turned out to be Cassius, who we have not seen in a while. Everybody's been wondering where Cassius was, what happened with Cassius, why he was not around. But Cassius was the masked man in this, and so it ended with a little bit of shenanigans, but the champion still Austin Kingsley. So Donnie, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me? I can hear you.
Yes,
at least
I hear you.
After you said, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you right now. You're lagging a little bit, but I hear you.
All right, there we go.
So welcome, Donnie. We went ahead and we got things going here. and we've gone through the first half of the card from Head Games. What was your thoughts on Head Games?
It was a great card from start to finish and everything. We had surprises. We always have surprises. Jamie Hall again put on Zakar. Sean, Ranchan came out and didn't interfere, but he was out there for Hall's match. Hall returned the favor, and I'm so looking forward to the upcoming card just because everybody was setting up for it at the last show. Like everybody, they didn't know necessarily who they were going to face, but you knew who tournament. I mean, this is going to be a great one. Holy Grail, where I came in 2 years ago. I came into my first show with WDWA was the Holy Grail show where Jordan won. So I'm looking forward to this as well because it's just top to bottom. Great card. Head games all the way around. I saw what's going on with our computer situation. But
yeah, you keep lagging there, Donnie.
You went over on the first part yet.
But yeah, you keep lagging. But yeah, it was great. But, then we went into the second part of the card, which actually, as you mentioned, Cowboy Carlson, Ranch Hand Carlson, he took on Rockstar Kelly, Holy Grail qualification match, and that was sponsored by Caitlin's Pet Service. And in that match, we saw Jamie Hall on commentary, as you mentioned, which, Carlson was on commentary during Jamie Hall's match, but Jamie Hall came out and was on commentary for that match. And, another great match. But in the end, Ranch Hand Carlson was able to come away with the victory as still our Mid-Atlantic champion and moves on to the Holy Grail tournament. So another great match.
Yeah, man. If you're seeing the issues on your side, if I'm breaking up.
Yeah, you're really breaking up bad.
Or whatever, but I got a lot of lag or something going on. So I'm hearing very little of what I'm saying. And I'm not seeing too much going on in the chat. I see the spinning wheel.
Yeah, Donnie's breaking up pretty bad there and lagging pretty bad. So let's give him a minute here, see if maybe it'll work itself out or what happens. So then our next match was a light heavyweight championship match. We saw the return of Ace Christian versus Chulo Montana. And there again, this match was not without action, was not without a little bit of outside fun or shenanigans, whatever you want to call it, because Chulo actually went outside, and before the match even started, he started telling Ace's girlfriend, you can be the one to take off my robe. And, was kind of making gestures at Ace's girlfriend. And at one point, Chulo went outside and, he, I believe he tried to kiss her or said something to her, and she smacked him right upside the face. And it was more than once. So, but in the end, Ace just came up a little bit short on that and ended up with Chulo retaining the title and coming out victorious on that. So I can tell Donnie still having issues there in the back. So then we went into another Holy Grail qualification match where we saw Y Keys and Stephen Forte in a tag team taking on Tyler Hastings and Vic Jones. This new attitude with Tyler, this new attitude with Vic, both of them having these attitudes. I wasn't sure how this match was going to go. And, but in the end, Bo Ross, he came out, he had a chair, and him and Vic, they got into a little running contest, and Vic ended up leaving Tyler by himself, and Y Keys and Forte came out with the victory in this one. So they advanced in the Holy Grail tournament. So another great matchup. And then we went into our main event of the night with the women's championship match, where we had Scarlet Maiden, and nobody's here to tell me that I got it right, but I finally got it right for once. Scarlet Maiden versus Tiffany Grady. Uh, these two put on an absolute great match. And, but in the end, Tiffany Grady was actually able to come out with a victory. And, afterwards, Scarlett, she just absolutely looked rejected and disgusted that, she didn't get the victory, but she said she's going to come back. She said that she didn't care if she had to start at the bottom and climb her way back to the top. She was getting back to the top and taking that title. So it's going to be fun to watch. I definitely look for her to get back to the top because she has that drive, she has that determination, and I look forward to seeing her doing that. So another great show, another great matchup. So Donnie, can you still hear me?
I can hear you.
You hear me, Donnie? Okay.
If at this point I get any close to my router, I'm going to be sitting directly on top of it. So, yeah, I can hear you fine.
Okay. Still looks like we got a bit of a lag, but
Double trouble. All right.
There we go. That one I think works a little better.
We will just go switch this over. We'll just go straight to cell phone, I guess, at this point, because whatever's going on with the computer is taking too long to resolve. So let's just go with that.
So,
like I was trying to say before, when you asked if I could hear you, I was like, if I get any closer to my router at this point, I'm going to be sitting directly on it. So that's a kind of small closet. I don't think I could actually fit in there myself, but we'll.
But yeah, so that was head game.
So I think I missed pretty much the entire head game show, right? The whole recap.
So we got some of your thoughts from the first half. What about the second half?
Tell me I'm not having issues here as well, because I don't hear you. Please tell me you're just on mute.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Nope. You're not just on mute.
No.
So you can hear me, but now I can't hear you again. Let's see. All right,
Exactly. All right, hang on. Well, I'll take you.
Comedic at this point. The of errors we're going through, just to try to.
Can you hear now?
People knew what we went through pre-show to just put on the show. That's even.
Can you hear me now?
Still don't hear anything coming from John.
Okay. Give me 1 second here. But okay, sorry about that. But yeah, so that got the field set for Holy Grail. We do have all of our competitors now, you know, where we have AK Bane, we have Hall, we have Aristote, we have Cannon, we have Forte, we have CEO, we have Sean Carlson, and we have Y Keys have all qualified for Holy Grail. So that set our stage for Holy Grail, which we'll be talking about a little bit later when it comes to the fans weigh-in segment. And so we will be looking for a fan to come in. And I see there are plenty of you out there. You know, shout out to Brandon, Andrew, Hunter Price, Susie. We got Tiffany Grady in the house, ladies and gentlemen, our champion. Shout out to Jeremy Karp. And Chulo Montana is in the house, which we've already talked about his match tonight. Shout out to Big Jim Harris. So there are a lot of you out there tonight. And so we will be choosing someone for the fans weigh-in. If you would like to be our fan for the fans weigh-in, you know, just keep on commenting, let me know, and I'd be more than happy to bring you on. But if you missed any of the great action that we had at Head Games, you can get all caught up because we have Juan who puts on Frontline for us. He does an absolute great job at Frontline. And so you can get caught up with Frontline every Thursday night on Wild Patriot 22 over on Frontline, over on YouTube. So be sure to check that out. And it's just an absolute great program that he puts on. And let's go ahead and check out a little clip here.
Step into the big house, WDWA. Earn your stripes in the big house, WDWA. The crowd is jumping, the crowd is loud. Everybody's rowdy all around the WDWA.
And that's Frontline every Thursday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, youtube.com/Wild Patriot 22. You know, like I say, he does an absolute great job with that show. You'll hear Dashing Donnie Diablo, myself. You from time to time you hear Steve Netz. You hear a couple others from time to time on the call. So be sure to check it out because they even catch things there on Frontline that we don't even see happen out front. There's been times that I've watched it and I've said, when did that happen? I never knew that went on. And, I was there. So, be sure to check it out. And so I think Donnie just about hopefully has things figured out here, and we will try to get him back in just as soon as I see him back on. But I think we are, speaking of Wild Patriot, so he says, shout out to Johnny Betha for making the amazing Frontline theme song. So, thanks for checking in with us, Juan. Thanks for letting us know who did that. And that is an amazing song there. Shout out to Renee checking in. But, as we said earlier, we do have our great, great referees from WDWA here tonight. They are in the back. They're ready to go. One of them is a little sideways, but other than that, so let me go ahead and start to bring them in, and we'll get talking to our great referees here. So we have Billy Bowers, Danica Myers, and Joe Lance with us tonight. How you doing?
Great.
Yeah.
Happy to be here.
Thanks for joining us. It's great to get to talk with you guys. And, this is something, Gavin, Donnie, and myself have talked about a few times to have you guys come on. And because a lot of people just don't realize the hard work that goes into being a referee. So what do you guys find to be the hardest part? And, I'll let you go one at a time at this, but what do you find to be the hardest part at being a referee?
Honestly, for me personally, a lot of it's the cardio is the part I think that a lot of people don't think about with repping, because whereas all the wrestlers are working a singular match per night, we're repping, 3, anywhere from 2 to 5, and you're much tired man the show, double the cardio, the effort of wrestling in 1 match per night or 2 matches per night.
Okay, so for you, it's the cardio is the toughest part. I believe your audio is little garbled there, but that I was able to catch what you said. Donnie, can you hear us now? Donnie?
He's usually such a talker.
Okay, evidently he can't hear. So, all right, Billy, how about you? What's the hardest part for you?
So like Danica said, cardio is definitely such a big part of it. I always thought of it like, if the people watching have ever done like burpees, just imagine those for an entire match, especially with some of the faster paced guys. They're getting so many pins, so you got to be up and down, and constantly following the action. So cardio is definitely big into it. And also having to have like eyes on everything, especially in the big multi-man matches. Like a few shows ago, I did a 6-on-6 elimination match. Those can be a lot to deal with.
Mhm.
So you gotta have eyes in the back of your head. You gotta have good cardio. There is so much that goes into it that I think a lot of people don't fully realize until they're in there doing it.
Okay. And Joe, other than having to actually count, what's the hardest part for you?
I would have to agree with Billy and Danica that it's the cardio. Some of these matches you can get really blown up in these matches. Like it's like especially if it's like a elimination match. Like it's you got to go up and down and up and down, and at the same time you got to make sure you don't mess anything up, because if you mess something up, the fans will never let you live it down. And this is true. So yeah.
As we can attest with you, because you know there's lots of stuff they never let you live down.
Yeah, I know.
They love to pick on you.
I know. I know.
There's also like there's not just like the physical aspects of it, but like the mental aspects of it too. We are the first people to know if something has gone wrong. So we have to be constantly aware of every portion of the show and know constantly what's going on. Because if something happens to somebody, if somebody gets hurt, then we're the first person to be aware of the situation and be able to help and get them help.
Yeah, I definitely get that, because you know not that I've ever been a referee or anything, but just you know with you guys having to watch everything and having to be able to get be the first ones to help and to recognize the situations has to be an absolute hard thing for you guys to do. So, but so just so they get a little background on you, how did you get started in wrestling, and how did you get started as a referee? Billy, we'll start with you on this one.
So I had, and I know this is where I know Gavin from, I had been a fan of indie wrestling for a while. I first got to know him from Cubby Pro many, many years ago. And then WDWA started in around the same area, so I started going to some of their shows. And then there was a Facebook post put up from Doug Rafferty about being willing to train referees for WDWA if anyone was available. So I commented and I asked how old do you have to be, because I was 16 at the time, and he said at least 18 years old. So I'm like, dang it. And then a few days later, I got a text. So it was very quick, and looking back on it now, maybe this wasn't the best way. We definitely want to take referee training very, very seriously, especially now. The more time goes on, the more we realize that, like we've talked about, it is so much more than just what you think. So like I ended up, first day they gave me like an hour training before the show, and I did 3 matches that night. So it was like an uphill battle, training on the job more or less. But Danica was such a big help in that. She taught me so much of the fundamentals and the basics that I need to know. And she has been such a help to my career. Another amazing female ref that helped me a lot was good friend Cheyenne Anders. Both her and Danica taught me so much about confidence and being confident in your voice and being confident in yourself, that you are the law out there. And those guys have to listen to you. It's not the fans. It's not the booker or the promoter that's in charge in that ring. It's you. They have to listen to you, which you really need that confidence in yourself to be able to lay down the law out there. So little bit of how I got started.
Okay. How about you, Danica?
So I started at the House of Pain when it was still located in Hagerstown. I initially had gone in intending to train as like the manager, but we really needed somebody to referee. And I said I'd give it a try, and I started training for that and discovered I was way better at that than managing. And I've been doing this for about nine and a half years now.
Okay. And then Joe, how did you get started?
Oh, let's see. Well, I've always been a fan of professional wrestling, and I started going to wrestling shows, and I became friends with another wrestler named Travis Dufour, and we became really good friends. And one day he came into Walmart where I was working, and he asked me if I was interested in training to become a manager or a referee. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be a manager, but I'll let me give refereeing a try. And so he invited me to the training center, which was a rec center in Martinsburg. I learned how to be a professional wrestling referee on gym mats, not a wrestling ring, but gym mats. Like that's how I learned how to take a bump and all that fun stuff. And yeah, it was not fun. I was trained by Robbie Page, and I've been doing this for I think 10, 11 years now.
That sounds quite painful.
Yeah, there was no give.
Worked in the House of Pain room.
So let me see. Donnie, can you hear us back there? He's not looking up, so
Like, if I can mention something real quick, it made me
Yeah,
think
go
of
ahead.
it when Joe had mentioned about like the gym mats. That's another thing that popped in my brain. Like type of ring that you are working in, that is takes like it's very big in slapping the mat because some of those
Yes.
mats hurt so much,
Yes.
and you
No.
still have to hit it with the force to make it loud. It can get rough.
It's not padded. It's not padded. And the way we have to hit absolutely does murder your whole hand, wrist, elbow, forearm, shoulder, everything out. And and the vocals. You have to get so good at being loud enough for everybody to hear you. There's a lot of vocal intensity that goes into it too. Now, I know for me personally, I don't know about, well, and Billy, I know for sure too, a lot of us also do a lot of training to wrestle as well. So, like, a lot of us know how to do basic wrestling, like moves and stuff, because, like, again, if something goes wrong, you know.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people realize the training that you guys actually have to go through and how much there really is other than counting 1, 2, 3, because I see a lot of that. So, what what authority do you guys actually have in the match to be able to, stop the match or anything?
I feel like it really depends on the stipulations of the match.
There's definitely a lot of different stipulations that can go into it, like she said, but also like there's a situation like this is another situation of where I caught a lot of hell from the fans. But I'm sure you remember you ended up with a table in your lap, but Mr. Grimm versus Ty Awesome. They got very upset that I was not counting the 10, which, granted, that's valid, but there's also a thing of referees' discretion. I was more so worried about Grimm possibly having a concussion. So we immediately needed to enter concussion protocol. Ty wasn't listening. There was a lot of chaos. So you also, in times, you have to be the person in charge of making that call. If a guy is too injured to continue, you have to think about longevity and the safety of the wrestlers rather than this one specific match.
Yeah, I completely get that because I see that so much where, you know, you guys give leniency and some of the counts, and people just don't understand that you do have that leniency that you can give. You know, you can say, well, this is a title match. I'll let them go a little further in it than what I would a normal match,
Mhm.
or you know, so what you may disqualify one person for, you may say, well, I'm going to warn them on this one just because of the stipulations, and people don't get that and understand that. So what is the most difficult part of dealing between uh, the fans' feedback and your actual decisions? I'm not sure I worded that right as far as what I'm trying to ask, but um, you know, what's the most difficult part of managing those two things?
Joe, you want to take this one?
I'll let you go first.
So, for me personally, the whole idea of being a referee is that it's supposed to be as down the middle as humanly possible. But as we said, there's going to be, some wiggle room for stipulations. But the reality is, it's about the wrestling, and it's about the outcome of the match and what's going on in the match. And a lot of the times, we tune out the external noise. We're not focusing on the exterior, and a lot of the times we don't notice the noise outside of what's going on inside of the ring until later, until we watch it back. So a lot of the time, I don't even hear a lot of the background noise because I'm focused on what's happening with the match.
If you would like to go first, Joe.
I mean, for me, as one of the referees that catches the most flack, I should say, I tend to drown everything out when I'm in the match. I don't really pay attention to what anybody is saying, what the fans are saying, because I'm more focused on the match and trying to call the match down the middle. Because contrary to belief, I do try to call the matches down the middle every single match, contrary to everybody's belief. But yes, so it's you have to be able to drown out the the sounds, because it can get really loud out there. It can get really loud. It can be really hot. There's a lot of factors to it. So it's just, you got to be able to just focus on the match that's in front of you, because and to be honest, we are there to make sure that everybody is safe. If somebody gets injured, we have to be right there to be able to take care of them if they get injured.
And like they said, it's about staying focused. The fans can say what they want. They bought their tickets. They're allowed to boo. They're allowed to cheer. They're allowed to give flack to the refs. They paid their ticket. They're allowed to make their opinion heard. But also, we're in there to do a job. We're in there to call it right down the middle, make sure the guys are safe, and make sure everything goes down the right way. So, and I also noticed, you could look at any sport. Usually, if there's two teams, the fans of the one team that loses are going to complain about the refs. So people always have issues with the refs. But, we're in there to do a job. We're in there to make the calls. And as they said, we got to call it right down the middle.
Yeah, and I mean, it has to be difficult that, no matter what you do, you're going to be wrong. So, because just like you said, you have those people who are the fans of the heels. You have those people who are the fans of the faces. And no matter which way you call it, somebody's not going to like it. Somebody's going to, well, you should have called this. Well, you shouldn't have called this. And so that it has to be difficult to kind of do that and just be in that position. So, but
That's the
so
thing. I'm not to be booed or cheered or loved or hated. We're there to call a match, enforce the rules, and make sure everybody gets in and out of there safely.
Yep.
well, and that brings up a good question. Is like you say, you're not there to be booed, you're not there to be cheered, but what part do the referees actually play in the storytellings of the match, and how difficult is it to play into the storytelling?
I mean, I feel that the ref plays a big part in the storytelling, because if the ref wasn't there, he would be there to officiate the match and whatnot. So it's I feel that we play a big part in the storyline, because there's some things that happen that directly involve these storylines. So yeah, I'd say we play a big part.
I think a really bad ref can make a decent match really bad, and a really good ref can make a decent match really good. I think it's on the quality of the referee. If we can be there and float the storyline along without having to always be central to it, then we're doing exactly what we need to do. We're there to be background characters.
Like both of them said, there's the two or however many people in the match. They're the main characters, telling the story almost like a play. But you can't have a play or a movie or whatever story you're trying to tell without the supporting characters. We're there to help move the story along. And like Joe said, if you don't have a ref, you don't have an ending. It's just two guys fighting forever. There has to be somebody to make the call that said, this guy got the win, this guy was better in this story.
We're there to narrate the play.
So yeah, and I imagine with some of these people, it can be kind of difficult to be a part of their story, especially when it gets really physical. But I imagine it can be a lot of fun at the same time. So what's one of the most memorable matches that you've ever done?
Well, I can tell you the most painful match that I've ever done, and that was the match that I was the referee for Cahegas, and that match ended with me getting hit with the steel chair, and that hurt more than anybody could actually imagine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I thought maybe you were going to say the most painful was when you got tased.
I mean, I have a fear of tasers because of that, but yes. Thank you for bringing that up. You always seem to bring that up, don't you, John? Yes.
I had a match with, it was Shane Malice, and I cannot remember who he was wrestling. The reason why I can't remember who he was wrestling. It was when we were in the old Custom Creations building in Martinsburg, and he was not happy that he did not win his match. And he picked me up, and he gave me a Death Valley driver, and I had to be carried back out of the Billy. You were there for that, weren't you? Yeah, I had to be carried back out of the ring. I think that was probably one of my most memorable moments because I got caught up in a romance temper tantrum.
Like, I'd like to be able to say that, it was moments like being able to work with guys like Luke Gallows, guys like Eric Young, or Tony Atlas, these amazing guys. But the one memory that always pops in my brain, of course, is feeling my own blood trickling down my forehead because of Misused, who we've had a history with, of course. But, situations like that where, and that's another thing people don't realize, is the refs are in just as much harm's way as the wrestlers are. Now, generally, when we get physically assaulted, the wrestlers end up with a fine, as they should. But yeah, I'd say that's definitely a memorable moment. Hearing Danica screaming, worried about me, Appreciate the concern. Yes.
And then for me also, I've worked with so many cool people just by doing this. Just being able to think back about all the cool, the big name people that I've worked, like being able to work a match with Moose and DeMarcus Kane for the TNA title. Like, I got to hold up the TNA title.
Yeah.
You got to hold up both the TNA World Heavyweight Championship and the X Division Championship.
You did, Aesop.
Give her the tag titles. Go ahead.
The number of cool people that we get an opportunity to interact with because we're not wrestling, we're getting to work so many different matches. We get so many more opportunities to be cool.
You mentioned all the cool people that you've worked with and the cool titles that you've gotten to hold up. So what would you say your proudest moment as a referee has been?
Proudest moment.
Sound really sappy on my part. This is gonna sound really sappy on my part. Honest to God, though. Watching Billy become as amazing as he is, from a 16-year-old kid who I didn't know if he was gonna be able to do it because he was so damn shy and so damn nervous and couldn't yell for shit, to being the confident, competent, amazing referee that he is, and working not only WDWA, but getting to work for places like MCW. Like, that's my personal proudest moment, is the fact that I got into this for fun, but watching somebody that I care about and that I started training grow to the level that he's managed to attain in the time that he's managed to do it.
Joe, you have to go first. Damn
it. For me, I would say that my proudest moment was actually joining WDWA. Like, I've worked for a lot of wrestling promotions, but when I came into WDWA, I was the new guy, and Danica and Billy, like, they welcomed me with like open arms, and they give me feedback of what this could have done, this, and I always appreciate all the feedback. So my proudest moment is being a part of WDWA.
My proudest moment was definitely when, like, promoters or wrestlers alike, would, I'd get to the back and they'd tell me, hey, you were great out there. You were loud. You were in charge. You did your damn job. And you know, also those moments in the ring where I know I did what I need to. There was one show, it was Ryo versus Cousin Clay. And I had told Ryo multiple times he cannot use the title to hit Clay. And Ryo was ignoring me. He reared back to hit Clay, and I ripped the title out of his hand. And the loudest I've probably ever been up to that point was telling him no. And the crowd actually applauded me, which they hadn't really done up to that point. So that's definitely a amazing moment, that another memorable moment that I'm very proud of. And a lot of that was because of Danica and how much she always believed in me and would always give me feedback and give me compliments. And it really helped fill me with confidence because, like she said, I was a very shy kid. I didn't come from very good home. So wrestling has meant so much to me, and getting to be around the business and be around so many amazing people and make so many great friendships, it's truly meant the world to me. Truly.
What about sentimental here, guys? Sorry, I started something. I can't hear. John, we can't hear you.
Can't really hear you, John.
We can't hear you, John.
Okay, that time was my fault. But but yeah, I know, like in the chat, I've seen where we have a gentleman who just became a referee.
Mhm.
And I know that there are people who want to become referees. So what piece of advice would you give to someone who wants to become a referee?
Hmm.
Learn other things besides reffing. Wear many hats, because we don't always need a referee, but sometimes we need ring crew or security
Mhm.
or music or photography, or the list goes on and on and on. It's not just wrestlers and referees that make a show. It's the ability to jump in and say, hey, I can also do this. Do you need this?
Yeah, and I've seen you do other roles as well. I've seen you as a backstage interviewer. And so I mean, I've seen you do other things other than refs, so I can see where that does come in handy. So, Billy, what's your piece of advice?
So I would say definitely understand what you're dedicating yourself to. Take it as seriously as you can. Train as hard as you can. Like, clear out whatever room you can in your house and practice a baseball slide. Practice your cadence with the counting. And slap hard. Work on your vocals. Get loud. It's so much more than just counting to 10 or counting to 3 or counting to 5. Take it seriously. Get of course, the good classic striped shirt, always tucked in, black belt, pants, socks, shoes, everything all black. Look the part. Look the part and be the part. And of course, as I was taught by Danica, have confidence in yourself. Know that you are the law out there. Know they cannot touch you, and you're in charge. Know that and have confidence in yourself always.
Absolutely. I agree with both of them. You've got to be able to take it serious. You got to, understand what you're getting into when you become a referee, and like Danica said, it's always good to learn different things because we don't always need a referee. So, I absolutely, practice, 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 train, and, just do the best job that you can possibly do.
Yeah, and and as part of the ring crew myself, I can honestly say the ring crew always appreciates the help. So,
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
but yeah, so learning different things and everything, I definitely see where that could help. So, um, and what is the most hated rule each one of you have to enforce? What rule do you hate to enforce the most?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's a really good question. Oh,
I would say, like they said, very good question. I would say the I would say the 10 count out outside the ring, because
Yeah,
I
because
do
nobody's
know,
in that way.
yeah,
Nobody wants to in that way.
like
Nobody.
they're outside, the fans are getting excited. It's obviously a good, hard hitting match, but it has to happen in the ring unless the stipulation calls for them to be able to be outside the ring. So it's a hard rule to enforce, but you got to make that choice. You got to be willing to make that call. And
yeah.
a lot of the fans get annoyed when, that bell rings, but they didn't listen to the 10 count. Okay, Matt?
Okay.
Low bar.
Oh,
I would agree with Billy, but I would also agree with the 5 count. If somebody's choking somebody and you give them to the count of 5, and sometimes if it's a match where these two guys have been like going at each other for forever, and it's a big match, and one of them is choking the other one, and you get to 5. The last thing you want to do is to call for that bell for the disqualification. That's just me. I mean, that's
Yeah.
Well, that's obvious. I mean, you have a hard time counting to 5 as it is, Joey. So, I mean,
Dang.
Danica.
Honestly, yeah, I'm kind of with you guys on that. It's I I hate a disqualification. I do. I hate a disqualification. It is an unsatisfying thing. I want them to go out there and have a good, hard hitting, clean match and be entertaining. So having to DQ people is always a really huge bummer for me. Dang. Go your comments.
Joey, even wrestlers are giving you a hard time here about counting.
you do a good job, Joe. You do a good job. Block out the haters, Joe.
Here, I tell you what, I'll give you a chance to redeem yourself, Joe. Right here, prove to everybody you can count to 10.
Count to 10. Why would I want to count to 10? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
There you go. See, you can count to 10. So, it's been great having you guys here. It's been a lot of fun talking with you. And unfortunately, I guess Donnie's internet just is not going to let him in here tonight. So, but what are you looking forwards to the most in Holy Grail?
Oh man. For me, I really hope that Jamie and Ranch Hand finally get their hands on each other. I really hope that happens on Saturday. I think that would be an amazing, amazing match, because these two guys have been going at each other for quite a while, and it's a perfect opportunity. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah. I'm just hoping for a safe show that everybody does, everybody goes home safely. But I'm excited to see who's going to get this. This is
Mhm.
honestly a match that I'm looking at where I'm like, I really don't know. And like, we can't pick favorites for the referees. But like, it's a solid bracket. And I really don't know who, like, gets the dead manager.
Yeah, had to get the plug in there. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, I'm just excited because I really don't know where this one's gonna go.
Holy Grail is definitely one of my like consistent favorite events because everyone is on their highest level. They've all been training so hard, and it's you get a trophy. That's always cool, but the stakes are so high. It's basically our version of Money in the Bank. You get to cash in almost a guaranteed title reign right there. You get to cash in at any time, whenever you want. So the guys are going to be fighting hard to win, and you're just going to end up with some great matches. And not only the tournament, but you get Clay and Zakar and Uncrowned Kings, two teams that have been going at each other's throats for months. All the tensions are high. Lady Glory's in a cage, so that'll be also an interesting match as well. So we won't have to worry about her trying to hop up on the apron or anything.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be a wild night. Yeah. So definitely looking forwards to Holy Grail and looking forwards to seeing who's going to win the Grail and how the night's going to go because it's definitely shaping up to be a heck of a night. So but looking forwards to it. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll have to try to bring you back on another time and talk with you a little bit more because it just really was a lot of fun. So
Thank you
Sure.
very much for having us.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
all right, so thanks a lot. We'll see you come Saturday night.
Bye.
Yep. See ya.
All right, let's see. Donnie, are you there now?
I can't hear a word you're saying. Really
Okay,
sure what's
well-
going on right now. Hence the name. Does it say it under there? Lagmaster Central. Yes, I put that on there because I can't hear anything that's going on. I can't comment on the comments right now. So, yeah, I don't know.
All right, well,
I'm blaming Zakar. I think Zakar is responsible for my internet woes tonight. Maybe he's got some hackers or something. But I've never said anything bad about Zakar, so I don't know if anybody's even here.
all right. Well, we could hear you, but you froze up again. And if you can't hear us, then unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work. But as always, you know, not only are we WDWA here, I'm over there at Wrestle Talk Podcast every other Tuesday night. When you can't watch Elevation, we do have Wrestle Talk Podcast. We've got some great hosts over there. And just a bit of breaking news after our great show, last week where they were talking a lot of good wrestling, and you got to see Ace and Gabriel Larson and Susie Haas talking, and you don't get to see Susie Haas that often. Every fifth Friday, if there's a fifth Friday of the month and it's a Wrestle Talk night, you are going to see Susie Haas and I believe Ace come on, and they are going to handle the show for you. It's going to be absolutely great. But, next week we are going to have the one and only Joe Lance, who you just saw. He's going to be on there. And we'll have Luke Skywalker Roberts on there. They're going to have a great, great guest with them. And they're going to be talking a lot of wrestling. They're going to be talking, about all kinds of things. I've already seen some questions flying around. So you're not going to want to miss that show. And I got a little thing here real quick. So tune in to Wrestle Talk Tuesday night. It'll be 7:50 p.m. Eastern. Yes, 7:50 p.m. Eastern. There's time difference, so I had to think about that. 6:50 p.m. Central Time. You know, once again, going to be Joe Lance, Luke Roberts. They're going to have the one and only Kurt Gannon on there with them. It's going to be a heck of a show. You're not going to want to miss it. That's for sure. So let's go ahead now and let's talk about that holy grail. But as always, it's time for the fans weigh in. Even though Donnie can't get in here, I got somebody here for the fans weigh in. Let's go ahead and bring him in.
What's up,
He is
John?
the top dog. What's happening, brother?
Not much. What's up? What's happening with you?
Hey, I'm doing good. It's been a night, but hey, we're mustering through it and just moving on. So,
Yeah.
the fans weigh in. We do enjoy bringing in the fans. We enjoy having them come and talk with us and make their picks. And, when Gavin's here, he is lousy at this, but it's a lot of fun. Last show, we had picks from Gavin, myself, and we had Big Alex come on, and we had John come on. And let me tell you, it was a good night. We had a lot of fun. And for last show, the picks came out where John and myself tied with 6 right answers apiece.
Oh wow.
Big Alex had 5 right matches.
Oh wow. That's
And,
awesome.
I'm so happy for him. And
Yeah.
then we had Gavin come in last as usual with 2 right picks.
Sadly.
So, but it was a lot of fun, and so we're gonna see how it goes tonight. And somewhere I have a pen.
Uh-oh.
And actually, if he wants to, he can give me a thumbs up. Billy, I see you're still in the back. You want to come in and make some picks with us tonight? Just give
Come
me a
on,
thumbs
Billy.
up if you want to do it.
Come on, Billy. You know you want it.
He's saying no.
Oh, come on, Billy. Come on. You know,
You sure you don't want to do it, Billy?
come on, Billy. You the goat, man. Come on. No. No, no.
I tried.
Yeah. Oh well. What you gonna do?
Well, I was going to have him be a third for us, but that's okay.
Yeah.
The Matt says refs can't pick, so
No. That's fair. Gotta be biased. Got it. That's fair, honestly.
now Matt says he smoked us the week before. Let's see, do I have those scores? Just out of curiosity. I thought I had them, but I don't see them. They must be in a different notebook.
Oh. Oh.
Oh well. I got too many notebooks here.
Oh,
But
no.
that's all right. But yeah, oh, wait a minute. Here it is.
Hey. Nice.
That week, Gavin had 4,
Oh, okay.
Luke had 5, and I had 6. So
You won.
so yeah. But yeah, so we are going into Holy Grail, and it is shaping up to be one heck of a show. You know, as we've already said, we already have everybody who has qualified for Holy Grail. I got a message that Donnie's still trying to get himself in here,
Ah.
and if he gets in here, we'll be sure to bring him in. But you know, we've got it all set where we have AK Bane, we have Paul, we have Aristote, Cannon, we have Stephen Forte, we have CEO, we've got Ranch Hand Carlson, and why Keys.
Why?
You know, all have qualified, and the matchups have been announced. And I am looking forwards to this because there is a lot of those matchups that just absolutely intrigue me. There is a lot of possibilities
Yeah.
that I would love to see. And you know, maybe we could almost do this like a Sweet 16 bracket.
Right.
Means we know the matchups.
Uh-uh.
But let's go ahead. Can you hear us, Donnie?
Is the
Oh,
Can you hear us?
yes,
can you hear us? Hey. Woo.
yeah. It only took basically all show to connect. Like I've never had these issues before trying to get on here, and I don't know that I want to tell you what room in the house I'm in.
I'm
I
not
could
sure
probably
we want to
figure.
know.
I could probably figure.
No, I'm not. I'm going to go ahead and do it because, like, evidently the only room in the house where non-internet anything is working is the bathroom off my kitchen.
I knew it.
So yeah, I knew you. Well, I already sent that to John, so I knew he was up for that. But Like, yeah, this seems to be the only room where my internet's working right now. So, yeah, we'll go with that.
All right.
So, all right, let's take a look. Let's actually start first with where's that? Let's start first with the tag match, just because
Oh,
I want to talk, when we talk about the Holy Grail, I want to talk about it kind of like the Sweet 16 bracket. So let's start with the tag match right off the bat. And, that is going to be quite interesting. So, tag team champion match, we have Clay and Zakar, our champions, are going to be defending against UCK, the Uncrowned Kings. And Lady Glory will be locked in a cage since she likes to interfere so much. Gavin's made the decision she will not be interfering in this match because she's going to be locked in that cage. And, I have seen the cage she's going to be locked in, and I'm looking forwards to seeing this. It's going to be something. So, on this matchup, guys, what is your thoughts? Donnie, since you haven't been able to chime in a whole lot tonight, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, I know you've seen the cage and you are verifying the cage and, said that, I mean, I've heard what you said about the cage. So I'm wondering if this cage is actually going to hold Lady Glory, because we've seen what Lady Glory's done. Like, she's vicious. She's way more vicious than I ever gave anyone that size credit for being. Like, she is a nasty, nasty individual. Like, given the three of them, if I was to walk up amongst them in an alley or something like that, I think I would be the most scared of Lady Glory. Like, she's nasty. She's just insane. And I don't know. She's crazy. Like, there's something really off about Glory, but she can fight. Like, you cannot say that Lady Glory can't fight. She is technically sound. Like, the things that we've seen Lady Glory do, I did not imagine Lady Glory could do. So I'm not completely certain, having not seen this cage like you have, that Lady Glory's going to be kept in there the whole time. So UCK's always got some kind of trick up their sleeve. Yes, it is Clay and Zakar, but we just saw what Jamie did to Scar again. With the interference from UCK, who wasn't even in the building. Like, I was back talking to Gavin. I don't know if you saw the clips from backstage during the show, and Zakar came up right after the match. It was right as we went into intermission. And Gavin and I were back there talking, and, Zakar's pissed. And he has every right to be pissed, because UCK and Lady Glory, they have been a thorn in the side of our tag champs the entire time. So is it going to get settled now? I don't know. It really honestly depends on the structural integrity of that cage. If they can keep Lady Glory completely out of this, and if they don't have any other surprises, who knows? There may be a fourth member that we don't know of that they're going to bring into UCK. UCK they're sneaky, they're smart, they're slimy. They've worked their way to where they're at now, and they feel like they should be way higher up. So they've got that scheming, they're conniving, they're going to do whatever it takes to put themselves on the posters, to put butts in the seats. They want the money, they want the glory, and it's hard to say. And honestly, I really hate to go against our tag champs, Zakar and Clay, on this, because again, we've seen what they can do as well. But UCK and Lady Glory, again, I'm saying I don't know what the cage is going to be able to do to eliminate the threat of glory. And I, at this point, not seeing the cage, not knowing, what it's made of, I got to go with UCK. They're in the head of our tag champs more than I ever thought anyone could be there. And we've seen the misuse feud with them. We've seen so much happen, but I got to go with UCK on this. I kind of hate to, and it may backfire, but we'll see. I think you've got way more insight than the two of us do on this, John, because you've actually seen the cage.
Yeah, like I say, I have seen the cage, and it's going to be interesting. But yeah. So Andrew, what are your thoughts? Who do you think's going to come out?
I'll give the UCK this. They're talented. They got moves like no one's ever seen before. But they take cheap shots, they take cheap tactics, and just like all talk on camera. But then when it comes to the real matter, not so much. Now, yes, in the past, UCK did beat Clay and Zakar and Lady L. If I'm correct, that's her name. Yeah, Lady L. In Lady Liberty, I think that. Yeah, Liberty in a 6-man tag team match, and Lady Glory did get the pin. I'll give her that. I'll give him that. But again, when it comes to the tag team championships, like they've had an opportunity. What happened? Lady Glory messed it all up for them, and that's on her. Now there is a pinning point to where you push Clay and Zakar to a limit. We've seen what Clay can do and what Zakar can do. We've seen them tear each other apart in the past. I still got to go with my boys. As long as the refs, whoever it is, Billy, Danica, even Joey, make sure you check her pockets. And if that cage is secured as it is, make sure she can't find a way. But otherwise, I'm going with my tag team champions. I got Clay and Zakar.
Yeah, this one, I definitely, even though I've seen the cage, there's just there are a lot of questions because we did see where UCK took out Zakar's knee several shows ago. And we've seen where when Clay is not around, UCK just seems to pick away at Zakar. And it's definitely going to be interesting to see. I guarantee you they're going after that knee. That's, whether it's fully healed or not,
Okay.
which it seems to be for the most part, but guaranteed they're going after it because they know they can hurt that knee. They know that they can take it out. And so is that going to be an issue? But if they win, I don't see them winning clean. I can't see that. But for this one, I think I am going to go with Zakar and Clay. Because it's a hard one to call, honestly, just because there's so much that's happened between them. And I know that UCK will stop at nothing to win, but I just don't see them getting it done on this one. So,
Donnie on the island of relevancy tonight.
Knowing Haas and being the longest reigning WWC hardcore champion or longest champion in FWWC to begin with, I don't exactly feel as comfortable on this island as maybe Gavin does, because I realize when I'm by myself, I'm probably not winning this one. So we'll see where it goes from here.
You never know, though. After all, I do miss them. I don't know. I don't believe I've had a perfect card at this one. To be honest, I don't think I've had a perfect card yet. But I do pretty well. But yeah, so you could be right. But so let's look here at this at the brackets that have been introduced for the Holy Grail tournament. You know, for the first round, you have Stephen Forte and Sean Cannon going at each other.
Steven.
You have CEO and AK Bane going at each other.
And two big boys.
And of course, the winner of the CEO AK Bane match is going to meet the winner of the Sean Cannon Stephen Forte match.
Mm-hmm.
So no, I don't care how you slice it. Looking at those four names, that semifinal is going to be one heck of a match.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But then on the other side of the bracket, you have Wykeys and Aristote, which is guaranteed to be one heck of a match.
Oh yeah.
You have Ranch Hand Carlson and Jamie Hall.
Big
Right
fan.
off the bat, they're going at each other.
Uh,
And we know that last time they went to a time limit draw. No
mhm.
one has been able to pin Jamie Hall's shoulders to the mat for a 3 count.
Or made him submit.
And then, you know, the winner of the Ranch Hand Jamie Hall match is going against the winner of the Wykeys Aristote match.
Mm-hmm.
You know, no matter what, there again, it's a heck of a semifinals. And out of those, the winners go to the finals. And that, I don't know. This one's going to be a tough one to call. So let's look at our first round here. You know, where we'll start with Sigma Steve versus Sean Cannon. This match is going to be something. And you know, Sean Cannon, he's been in the Holy Grail before, and he wants to make it. He wants to go all the way. Like I say, this isn't his first Holy Grail. You know, Sigma Steve, he wants to go all the way in this Holy Grail.
Sigma.
Who's going to take this one? So, Andrew, why don't you start us out on that one?
Both men, great accolades. I've seen what both men can do. Steven, the man can do stuff. Sean Cannon tries to take shortcuts in any way he can, whether if it's using a weapon or, again, having his brother, which do we even know if he's going to show up? If Jimmy is going to be at Holy Grail to help his brother? Because, like, if I recall, I don't think it was 2020. I don't think it was last year, but I think 2024 Holy Grail, Sean Cannon almost won because of Jimmy, but still came up short to Jordan. That's who it was.
Yeah, that was the Jordan Evans win. That was the first I was at for WDWA.
Yeah. So again, I mean, you know, Sean Cannon being a former Mid-Atlantic champion, Steven, I don't know, at least from my knowledge, I don't know if he has respectfully held a title in the World Domination, but more likely, I feel like Steven's going to pull through this. So I don't know why. It's my gut. It's my gut telling me. I got to go with Steven.
All right. So you have Stephen Forte on that one. Okay. What about you, Donnie?
Oh man, I knew it.
Here we go.
Yeah, talent. He is. You know, all the guys in Supremacy, once Supremacy split up, have, you know, and they went on their own paths. Have been doing a great job. White Keys in the tournament as well. Chulo is, you know, now our lightweight champion. He defeated our former lightweight champion on this last show, which I was trying to weigh in on.
I mean, Chulo technically had the tights, in my opinion, but I guess referee never saw it, so whatever.
I didn't see it either, you know, with this guy. So you see the tights being pulled?
Oh, I saw it. Whole handful, trust me.
Forget I asked that question, John.
Uh-huh.
Answer it. Let me go on with my answer here. Yeah, Forte's a great talent. He's had amazing success since realigning himself with Luke Johnson and, becoming Sigma Steve and the Sigma Males, breaking free from supremacy. We know what Zakar's done with Clay, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. All these guys have had success. Most of them have come back, and embraced the fans, minus Chulo per se. But
Yeah.
I gotta go with Cannon, and I don't even care if Jimmy Stars is there or not. Like, Cannon wants it. I don't know if you guys saw Cannon's promo this last week, but I saw Cannon's promo this last week, and he's focused, he's determined, he's trained, he knows everybody very well that he may end up facing throughout this whole thing, and he's been in numerous Holy Grail tournaments. He knows the way this works. He knows what he's got to do. He knows the endurance. You gotta believe Cannon has been working to correct the wrongs from the last 2 years, and he said this is his goal. He's going to take the Grail, and I gotta go with Cannon. I mean, I know I'm going to catch flack with it. Like, I know, and there's probably more picks as we go along that I'm going to catch flack for. And I'm going to hear it before we ever get to the locker room. But I got to go with Cannon. I think Cannon's got this. I believe what he says, and I believe he's focused, and he's been training. He's got all this experience where, I don't know that Fuerte has that experience in the Holy Grail and has chased the Grail before, and I'm just going back 2 years in this. I didn't see it, then he was injured, when I came into the company. So I just got to go with Cannon. Like, Cannon's got the experience. He knows what he's talking about. I want to believe what he said is going to happen. So I got to go with Cannon.
And for me in this one, I think I'm going to have to go with Forte.
Of course.
Oh.
It's going to be a tough one, no matter which way you look at it. Because like I say, Cannon really does want this. He wants it bad, but I just think Forte can pull this one out. I think Forte can defeat Cannon and move on to the next round. That's my prediction. But then, we go into the match where we're going to have CEO versus AK Bane.
Wow.
Former Money in Power versus former Money in Power. This match has the potential to be possibly one of the best matches of the night. Because AK Bane, I don't know if you saw his promo earlier.
Oh, yeah.
He wants to stack bodies on top of bodies on top of bodies.
Mhm.
And I honestly think he can do it. But CEO is bound and determined that Money and Power is not going anywhere. They're not going to make it. And I could see CEO pulling out all the stops to try to take Money and Power out of this. And this will be his opportunity to do so. And it's difficult to say which one is really going to win it, but I think I'm going to take Bane.
Choice.
I was not expecting that.
So
Not at all. Not at all.
Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. We'll let our guests go last and summarize all their points at this point. And what a great guest, like Andrew. I was like, I remember you on
Unexpected.
time and everything. We talk all the time. Because You know, part of the FWWC, you know, just kind of joined up. You know, it's you know what you're doing. You know wrestling. You know how to pick the cards, but I saw Bane's promo, and I'm glad you brought that up, John. I saw CEO's promo as well. I have known CEO for a very, very long time, and Bane not quite as much. But we saw what Bane and DeMarcus did. We saw what Bane and Grimm did. We've seen Bane and CEO mix it up. Bane's a monster, and he really is. So I honestly don't feel great about leaning the opposite way of Bane. Like, I honestly think CEO.
Oh,
Donnie went down the crapper again.
oh no. Oh no. Huh. He'll probably pop up somewhere else now.
All right. Well, Andrew, go ahead and give us your thoughts, and hopefully Donnie will pop back in and we'll get his.
So I just want to recap. You said former Money and Power versus former Money and Power.
No, I said former Money and Power versus Money and Power.
Oh, okay. My bad. Sorry. I guess the stream probably just glitched out then. My bad. Well, more likely, like, again, like, both, like, Bane's a beast. AK's a beast. I'm not going to deny that. He's done he's picked up a lot of men probably bigger than him and has defeated a whole lot of people. And it's just, like, I want to go with Bane, but, like, you also got to think, if AK Bane wins the Holy Grail, you know who has the heavyweight title, and that's Kingsley. So if I'm thinking Money and Power, I'm not saying that Kingsley could be there at Holy Grail, but what if he tries to accidentally intervene and costs Bane the Holy Grail? If, theoretical, not saying he could, but, because again, like, yes, CEO is a man to not mess with, but so is Bane. You saw how much it took to take, and you saw how much DeMarcus Kane took. It took out of him to take down AK Bane, not only once, but twice. Once at Berkeley Mania, and then once December 13th inside the steel cage. So it's just like, I feel like my to quote Justin, my money is on CEO.
All right. So Andrew seems to think CEO is going to pull it out. And who were you going with, Donnie?
I was going with CEO. I didn't know how much of that actually came through or not, but I was going with CEO as well. And
okay. Yeah. I think you were at the point you were telling us
Yeah.
that. But
to kind of piggyback on what Andrew was saying there, y'all remember Steve and CEO against AK. Well, AK wasn't in there. It was JTR and Jeremiah. AK came out. And the stipulations in that match. So if AK would have slid in and just laid everybody out like he's
Justin would have been fired.
Exactly. So how much, talking about CEO trying to draw AK Bane out and do whatever he's going to do with AK Bane, like, form some other stable business or whatever. How much of that is playing? Because CEOs, he's trying to, I mean, he's been in the business a long time. He may or may not be on the tail of his career. He's trying to help this guy out. He says, look, I know you're young. You don't know where you're at. I've been there. I'm trying to help you out. Yeah. So, I mean, we had questions about that, John. We were mentioning that in the broadcast. Like, why is he out here? What's he going to do? Are they stopping him? Does he want to go in? Does he not want to go in? Like, what's the end game to this? So again, like, this may be one of those matches we end with more questions than answers. And honestly, like, I still think it's CEOs. Like, so at least I'm not alone on the island for this pick.
So, all right. Well, then let's jump to the other side of the bracket now, where we are going to have Y Keys versus Aristote. You know, this is going to be another good match. So, Donnie, what are you thinking on this one? What are your thoughts on this match?
Of course. I'm not even mad I'm starting this off, because at any point tonight, like, my internet may or may not stay up. But at the same point, you also realize if I say anything negative about Waikis, if he's not already in the chat, he's immediately going to show up, because that's what he does. Like, this dude, I don't know how he does it. Like, anytime you mention Waiki's name, he's like Beetlejuice. But you don't have to say it 3 times. You say why one time, dude's behind your back.
Wow.
Like, so you said it 3 times. He's like watching all of us right now. So be careful where your pick is. Aristote is a beast, though. He's a monster. This dude competes in bodybuilding and everything. He's, insanely strong. But if you saw Keys promo this week as well, Keys is also insanely strong. And the weird thing about Keys, and if you watch his workouts that he puts up on YouTube and Facebook and everything else, like, dude, like, these things are insane too. Like, yeah, you're strong, we get it, but like, he seems to exponentially get stronger, like, with no rhyme or reason. Like, dude, like, last week you were benching this and now, like, you're freaking benching that and squatting that. Like, it's insane how good this dude actually is. He's athletic, and like he said, he's got the stamina, he's got the brains, he's got it all. But this is where he's going to pop up, is I'm going to say Aristote, and the power Aristote and the influence from some of the guys that Aristote's hanging around with now is going to play out in this match, and Aristote's going to sneak away with one.
All right.
Ready for what?
Andrew?
Just go ahead and tell me I'm wrong any minute now.
I mean, I don't know Aristote as well as Donnie does, but I mean, at least the one match that I've seen him in, great athleticism. The dude's got muscles on his muscles, and I'll admit that. And it's just like, man, didn't realize that a man like that could have that many muscles. But White Keys is determined. Former tag team champion, I'm trying to remember. But yeah.
Yeah, he's been a former tag champion.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, Keys, if I can't remember any other accolades in world domination if you haven't. But White Keys has been determined, strong, went off on his own after Supremacy kind of disbanded, hooked up with the fans, defeated Austin Kingsley December 13th in that Fans Bring a Weapons match, which I brought a paddleboard, by the way. That was funny as hell. But if it's as important as this, the Holy Grail Trophy, an opportunity to cash in for the WDWA Heavyweight Championship, I feel like Keys ain't gonna back down. I'm going with my boy Y Keys.
And both of you have made some really great points here, and it really is going to be a hard one to call, because Aristote is a heck of a force, but Y Keys is just on a roll lately, and I don't see him stopping right now. So I'm going to have to agree with you, Andrew. I'm going to have to go with Keys and put Donnie out on that island.
I'm calling it Jacksonville now, just so you know.
So
This island is now Jacksonville. So
all right, the next match we're going to talk about is a man who just popped up in the chat. We're going to have Ranch Hand Carlson versus Jamie Hall. You know, and like I say, Jamie just popped up in the chat. So perfect timing here, Jamie.
Yeah, perfect timing.
You know, and
right.
this match, we have
I'll take
seen
this
these
one
two.
first because I'm not going to take a lot of time.
I'll say we've seen
Hall.
these two go to war, and it's going to be something. Andy, don't sleep on me. I'll put you out faster than Ranch Hand. And it says, I will put myself to sleep.
All funny, Jamie. All talk.
Well,
Where's the show?
I can't help it. I can't help it if your matches put me to sleep, Jamie. That's just, you know. But so Donnie, you know, you said you wanted to take it first. Go for it.
I already said, like, I got Jamie. I ain't even gonna really go into this one. Like, it's Jamie.
All right. So Donnie's gonna take Jamie on this one.
Not been pinned, not submitted, technically sound. Pissed off already at Ranch Hand. Really under the skin of Ranch Hand Carlson. Ranch Hand tried to get. I want to say Ranch Hand tried to get under Jamie's skin in this last time coming out, and again, great commentary. It was wonderful to have Ranch Hand over there with us, and then Jamie came out and just blew it away again. Like amazing commentary, amazing wrestler. Jamie Hall came in and just stole the show again. Like, so, you know, how can you not go with Jamie Hall?
But you know, Donnie,
come on over to Jacksonville, boys.
You say he is under the skin of Ranch Hand, but you've got to look at it when Ranch Hand was on commentary. I would say 75% of Jamie's match, he was focused on Ranch Hand. He was looking our way. He did take the victory. Now, there was a little question as to, you know, whether there was outside interference or not because of the video. But, you know, he paid more attention in my mind to Carlson than he did to his opponent. But he did come out with the victory. Now, in Carlson's match, Carlson only paid attention to Jamie only about maybe 30% of the time. The rest of the time, he was focused on his opponent. And so, who's under whose skin? To me, that
Jamie
would say... So to me, that says that Carlson is under Jamie's skin and Carlson is in Jamie's head. You know, not the other way around.
I beg to differ. I would say Jamie knows that he can spend that amount of time focusing on Ranch Hand and getting in Ranch Hand's head and antagonizing Ranch Hand and still pull off the victory against a two-time world champion and a current tag team champion. And
but, you know,
Ranch Hand, I got to pay attention to this kid because he's going to whip my butt if I don't. And maybe when I know that I got this kid, I can look over a couple times at Jamie and maybe make a smart ass remark. Or once the match is over, I can look over at Jamie and make some really smart ass remarks because I know he's not going to be able to do anything to influence this match.
But, you know, I will say, though, Jamie, you are correct. You know, when they take their eye off the ball, you got to capitalize on it. I do agree with you 100%. you took advantage of it. And no, I don't blame you for taking advantage of it, honestly. But it is what it is.
You remember those old basketball commercial? I'm not even a basketball fan, but those old Dikembe Mutombo commercials. He's like, no, no, no. That's what Jamie just did to him. He's like, no, no, no. Just spike ball right back on him.
It's trying to show Sean how to really wrestle. People pay good money for wrestling lessons these days, and he should be applauded for giving it in this economy. Well, honestly, though, I'll go ahead and make my pick. This match, it's going to be a heck of a match, no matter who wins it. But honestly, Jamie's never been pinned for that 3 count. Jamie has not submitted. And I just don't see him being pinned or submitted in this one either. So I'm gonna go with Jamie Hall in this one.
All alone on the island. Well, yeah.
Well, you haven't made your pick yet, so.
No, you're right. You're right. Real wrestling, Jamie. Is that what you called gouging the eyes, taking cheap shots in the corner? I mean, Ranch Hand has been in your head this entire time. Tick, 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 buddy. Don't be sleeping on him. I got Ranch Hand Carlson. I know my boy can do it. I got Ranch Hand on this one.
Hand's not just as dirty, if not dirtier.
So, okay, so Andrew says Ranch Hand.
Like, he's going to take a shortcut if Ranch Hand knows it's going to get him to where he needs to go.
All right. So, at the end of round 1, I have Bane and Forte, Keys and Hall. Andrew has CEO and Forte, Keys and Ranch Hand. And Donnie has CEO, Cannon, Aristote, and Jamie, all winning in round 1. So, based on that, let's run down round 2 on who we think will advance out of those. So, Donnie, you have CEO and Cannon versus each other. Which would still be a good match. Don't get me wrong. That'd be a heck of a match.
Oh, God. There's no safe corner to turn to in this match either. This is one of those that I'm gonna hear about no matter which way I go. But again, I'm convinced in the words that came out of Sean Cannon's mouth. I'm convinced that what I know Cannon can do over the last, going on 3 years now, and Holy Grail competition, like he's locked in. Cannon wants it. I'm not saying CEO doesn't. I'm not saying that at all. And I know CEO is a big guy. CEO can fight. He's a hard hitter. Even some of the technical moves that CEO does, he does from a judo background. Like it's not wrestling. He's taking you out with your own momentum. CEO's a dangerous man, and he's got the size and strength behind it. But again, I can't go against Cannon on this. CEO's I don't want to say kinder, gentler CEO's at this point placating to the fans. He wants to be the happy-go-lucky loved guy again. Cannon has never really cared about that. And so I think CEO's going to take the high road. Cannon's going to take whatever road he's going to take, and Cannon's going to come out with it.
All right. And Andrew, Jamie says, would you say Ric Flair isn't a real wrestler?
I would never say that. Ric Flair is one of the greatest legends of all time.
So, Andrew, your first matchup here, you have CEO versus Forte.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I mean, more likely, again, I could see Steven possibly moving on to the semifinals, but CEO really wants to get his hands not only on Money and Power, but also wants to get another shot at that world title. So, respectfully, in a respectful decision, I have to go CEO, moving on to the finals.
All right, so you have CEO beating Forte. All right, so then for me, the first matchup would be Bane versus Forte. And
Oh, wow.
and that one, you know, Bane said he's gonna stack bodies on top of bodies, and I think he can do it. And even though I'm wearing a Sigma male shirt, I think I'm gonna have to take Bane on this one. That's just that's gonna be a tough one. So then on round 2, Donnie, your next matchup would be Aristote versus Jamie Hall.
Mm.
Mm.
Whew.
Now that
It's
would be
crazy.
very athletic match. I'll give you that. I mean, as
Yeah, but-
athletic as Aristote is and Jamie is, that'd be a hell of a match.
So we've all hit that brick wall to this point. Like 1, 2, 3 into the next round, we're all like, oh man, like these are the bracket busters. These are the heartbreakers right here, where it can really almost go either way if you really want to think that deeply into it. But I don't think you got to go that deep into it with Hall and Aristote. Aristote's a beast, yes. He is athletically gifted. He's a power lifter. I have a lot of belief in Aristote, but he's facing Jamie Hall. And again, he's unbeaten for a reason. This dude can wrestle circles around pretty much anybody out there. In this company or any other company. It's Jamie Hall can wrestle. He can show you things that you haven't seen. He can show you things that you forgot about. He can show you about things you never learned. I got to go with Hall on this one again.
All right, so you think Hall is going to take this one? Andrew, you have Y Keys and Ranch Hand.
So again, theoretically, if Ranch Hand were to beat Jamie Hall and not Jamie, sorry, Ranch Hand were to go on to face White Keys, I feel like Jamie would have that, kind of like pissed off, jealous, like pissed off moment that if he did lose, then he would, not be in the ring, but at least cost Ranch Hand the opportunity, and then White Keys would get the pin. So again, respectful, theoretical decision, White Keys.
All right. And my matchup here would be Y Keys versus Jamie Hall. I don't see here again. I don't see Hall getting pinned. I don't see Hall submitting, but I see something happening, and I think whatever it is that happens, Ranch Hand will play a part in, and I think Keys will come out, because I think Ranch Hand will make sure that Carlson does not go past that. So, and then that would be our round 2. And that means Donnie has Cannon and Hall advancing. Andrew has CEO and Keys advancing. And I have Bane and Keys advancing. So now that brings us to who is going to win the finals. Who will be the Holy Grail holder at the end of this? So Donnie, Cannon, or Hall, who will be the Holy Grail holder at the end? I think Donnie done froze again.
Oh no.
Oh, wait a minute. He's
Oh,
moving.
oh.
Donnie.
Donnie?
I don't know if I'm frozen. Yep, I'm moving again. So let me get my pick out there real quick. Hall.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So he has Hall winning.
I'm gonna live or die on that hill. Definitely.
Andrew, you have CEO and Keys.
Both men have this on their agenda. White Keys probably still wants to get his hands on Austin Kingsley. CEO in general wants to take out all of Money and Power. So, but again, I feel like Money and Power would probably make their presence known. So, oh man, I mean, I would probably, like, again, theoretical, I would probably say CEO.
All right. So you're thinking CEO is going to win the Holy Grail. And for me, I'm down to Bane or Keys. And in this matchup, honestly, after that fans bring the weapons match and everything, I could see this being where Austin Kingsley would interject himself if he's there. I don't know that he's going to be there.
Yeah. Theoretical.
I can see someone from Money and Power interjecting themselves,
Yeah.
and it's going to end up costing Bane. That's my thought. Whether it be by disqualification or what, but I think Y Keys will take it on that one. And it's going to be a heck of a match, though, and I hate to go against Bane because Bane is a monster.
He's an animal.
And I definitely think it's going to come down to either Bane or Keys with this, but just the Money and Power factor, I can see him Bane getting disqualified or something,
or counted out or something,
and Keys will come out with it. That's my prediction. So I have Keys winning it all. Andrew, you have CEO winning it all, and Donnie has Hall winning it all.
Yeah, it just told me unstable connection again, so we'll see how long I'm here.
And Jamie says, Donnie, we will live together. I'll bring the Holy Grail.
All right.
And we even have Stephen Forte in the chat.
Stephen.
Oh God.
So All right. Well, that's our predictions for the Holy Grail. It is definitely going to be a great show, no matter how you look at it, no matter who you think's going to walk out with it. And like you say, it's going to be a heck of a bracket, heck of a bracket buster, I'm sure, for a lot of people.
Slobber knocker.
Holy Grail,
Beautiful.
the 11th South Berkeley Fire Hall. Don't miss the show. It's going to be one heck of a show. But if you do, for whatever reason, have to miss it, whether you're in Cancun or in the Slammer for the night or wherever you are, be
Oh,
sure Thursday you catch it on front line, because you're not going to want to miss a minute of the action. That much I can tell you for sure. But Andrew, thank you for joining us again. It's always a pleasure. Definitely look forward to seeing you Saturday night, because I'm sure you're going to be there.
oh yeah,
You
for
know,
damn sure. I ain't missing this.
any last words before we let you go, buddy?
All I gotta say is WDWA, like, it's my family. Like, I became friends with so many people there, with the fans. I'm friends with some of the wrestlers, and all I want to say is thank you. Like, my dad
Well,
got me into wrestling when I was young, and now it's just like wrestling is my life.
well, I know that Donnie and I, we are on the commentary team, and we are on front line and everything. But honestly, I can tell you that, WDWA and Gavin, they feel lucky to have you as part of WDWA family as well. So, it's great to see you there always. Great to talk with you, and look forward to seeing you on Saturday. So thank you for being here tonight.
Oh, thank you for inviting me.
So. All right, Donnie, that's another one in the books. Episode 22 is done. I I had a lot of fun with the referees. They were great to talk with, and I think they gave a lot of insight. And unfortunately, you didn't get to join us on that one. I'm sure you had plenty that you wanted to ask and plenty you wanted to know, but
That
it's
just
definitely
disconnect
great to
again.
talk. So, any last words while you're still connected? I guess the connection got you. But all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here tonight. We've had some technical difficulties, but we've tried to work through them. This is live entertainment, so we do the best we can. And we will see you Saturday night at South Berkeley Fire Hall for the Holy Grail tournament. Make sure you're there. And until then, have a good night, and we will see you next time.